Hello and welcome to Stage 3 of the Formula One United States Grand Prix event for Real Racing 3. I have got a McLaren with a maximized principal, maximized driver, and the tuning is exactly what I will need to finish the last race of this event. So for me, that was going up to, from left to right, 5, 4, 4, 5. And I share the costs of that in the very first video for Stage 1. Also show what maximum tuning cost would be and talk about some different strategies. So this one qualifying, just have to finish this lap in time. I don't think at this point that they cared anything about off track, but don't really need to be doing that here. I mean, if you're really having trouble, there's the odd place you could cut off track and save a couple of seconds, but really shouldn't be necessary. Now don't do, oh boy. Well, we're going to see how difficult this is. That was just very bad. But so far, seems like a pretty reasonable event. Kind of like some of the interesting stages where the bots were staggered very strangely in the last stage, in Stage 2. That was kind of some interesting stuff. We'll see what happens as far as the continuation of how the AI or the bots are handling our car before we get our hands on it. Sometimes that can really mess things up. We'll see how we handle that. Again, I really like this corner. Didn't maximize it there near as much, but that's okay. Oopsie. Didn't do very good there either. Still piles of time left over. Piles and piles and piles of time. And getting decent pay because these are Circuit of the Americas is a decent track. Okay, so now we just gotta do it in a minute 30 and deal with an overheating engine. Oh, and a full field. Well, that's interesting. Well, an overheating engine isn't necessarily easy here. So, did you see that? They were starting me on the far left. They were going to snap my rear end around. You got to get on the brakes really quick, go far right, and set up that corner. Because it is important, because your timer starts when you cross the start-finish line. You want a really good run at that corner. So, problem with Circuit of the Americas is that there are a lot of full throttle sections, so overheating can be an issue. Now, it doesn't show us in any position at all, and that's just because if you finish in time, I guess they give you first. So yeah, you don't have to push this very much. Get out of the throttle early. Did you notice that there? There was no throttle or brakes on at that time. So I'm going to repeat that. If you know the braking points, lift off the throttle like 6 car lengths early, depending on your speed. Like this is a long speed run, I'll get out of the throttle quite early. Just widen out that corner, and yeah, really not that difficult, I don't think. I mean, a minute 30. Again, I'm over-tuned right now, but I don't think this is going to be difficult for people. If it is, you just, add tuning, and you're going to need it yet. Like, from my car, the requirement was PR 127.0 for the last race. For the Mercedes, it's going to be, I think, 127.2. So, it depends on the cars. Williams, for instance, a base Williams is 115.6, whereas a base Mercedes is 116.0, and then the difference grows. Either way, you end up spending the exact same amount of currency. So, it's not that one car's cheaper than the other one with this type of an event. Same thing. The AI, the bots, were driving our car in a very stupid way. So it's very strange. Would have been better if we got control of the car. Oh, maybe a whole corner before that, actually. Or at least 6 car lengths further back so you could set it up. Alright, getting some nice drafting here. Just need to be setting the fastest lap without excessive drifting. Come on, man. It's not how you drive a Formula One car. No, of course, that it is quite real in this game. When you drift like that, when you skid, you lose a lot of time. The bots gain back on you quickly. So if you ever want to mess around having fun with drifting, you got to make sure you have a very comfortable lead. There's only a handful of sections, or, well, you got to be really skilled. If you're going to make drifting save you time, it won't in this type of a car, but another, oh my goodness, that's going to hurt me. That's definitely a damaging event. Okay, anyways, when you've got really fast cars, that's where sometimes throwing a drift for certain corners is beneficial. For instance, with certain cars at Spa, I've thrown a drift at the last chicane and definitely had that get me into Group A because I did a successful drift. There's a handful of places like that in the game. Same with Circuit de Catalunya. There's a very sharp hairpin there in one of the circuits, and throwing a drift can often save time, but it's not easy. It's quite a technique to throw a successful drift. It's almost more of a skid when we do it in this game, but it's interesting. In certain cars, specifically all-wheel drive cars, if you throw the car completely sideways, it will brake really fast, and so that's kind of what's happening there. Is honestly, it's more of a braking technique than it is a drift, but because to do proper drifting, you need a parking brake, and it's just totally different technique. Oh well, we still call it drifting when we do it in this game, so it's fun. So you can see, absolutely ridiculous lead. Like, it's just not even funny how much of a lead I have. Now that would be based on I had the fastest time, but still. I mean, I set the fastest time, I hit him, so, woo boy. That's kind of crazy. Is this going to end up being 2 kilometers? I don't think it will be. But, well, it's 1.8. I guess it just depends how things coordinate. I don't know how far, but oh well, not anymore. Not with that. Blew the last corner. I tend to do that a lot there. I gotta work on it. But I mean, I'm getting under 120 now, so that's okay. I mean, certainly could be a few seconds faster than that yet. Especially since I don't have a maximized tuning. 128. Beat 128. Not a problem. Not a problem at all. I should have no problem beating 120. Unless I really blow it. Like, that wasn't good. Again, giving us control of the car at a strange point. So I already blew 0.2 of a second. And I also made it so that I'm not starting this lap at the proper speed, which throws off my first braking point. As I was mentioning in a different video, braking points are based on how much speed you have as you approach them. And, oh good grief, that was bad. Braking points are based on how fast you are approaching them and also where you are on track, how you're approaching the corner. There's a lot of factors there. So, what am I going to do with Vettel? See if I can get an inside pass. I'll give him a little push. Get him out of my way. I thought about going on the outside, but so many of the times the bots at this track, they really take the hairpins weird. Like, it's like they just want to drive in the middle of the track and just hog the whole track. And it's just very strange. It's not how you take a corner. But I find it's most obvious at this track, which might mean that this event will be very easy because it could be based on how the bots drive, and they're just bad at this track. Like, it's really easy to have a massive lead on bots here just because they drive it so badly. They brake at so many places where you don't need brakes, especially in the series of S's at this track. Oh my goodness, they brake a lot when you don't need brakes. Okay, so far so good. Not much of an issue. Keep getting that same pay structure. Again, I'll be adding all of that up. Oh my goodness, we're already done. Well, if you like this video, please press like, please subscribe. Thank you for joining me today, and I gotta get back out there on the track and get stage 4 done and up. Talk to you guys soon.